We're going to measure the performance of the centrifugal pump here by taking some simple measurements of flow rate, pressure and energy use. So this is the pump here, being driven by an electric motor. And I guess before I do anything, I should note down the model number of the pump. And I might also take a picture or note down the details of the motor. Now onto the suction side, we need to measure a suction pressure. And over here we have a suction gauge as close as possible to the pump. In this case, it is right on the pump flange here. When the pump's running, we will read a vacuum of a certain amount of kPa and write that down. On the delivery side of the pump, the downstream side where the water goes to, I need to have a second gauge, a pressure gauge measuring a positive pressure. Once again, as close as possible to the pump. And I have this pressure gauge here, measuring a pressure in kPa. I also need to know how high that gauge is above the pump center line, so I would note down the dimension there of how far that is from my pump center line. So that's the measurements of pressure, inlet pressure and outlet pressure of the pump. Now onto the flow meter. In this case, we do have two flow meters. We have a scheme flow meter here, an EM flow meter, and I can read off a volume here over a certain amount of time. We've also got a portable flow meter, an ultrasonic flow meter, which has been strapped on temporarily. And when I have that set up, it'll give me a liters per second on here, and it'll also tell me the quality of the signal, which also might be important. But really, this is a backup for this one in this case, but there are plenty of circumstances where I don't have this kind of flow meter and I need to rely on a portable flow meter. When I'm ready for my pump tests and I want to start my pump test, I take a volume and a energy reading at the start of a time and the volume and energy reading at the end of a time. So I take the volume in megaliters off my gauge here by noting down the megaliters at the start of a time. And then I need to come around to the ergon meter and take a reading of the kilowatt hours off the ergon meter. And I write that number down at the start of my time, and then I write down this number and my volume at the end of my time, and then I have all the measurements I need to complete the pump assessment.